Hey, thanks for coming back to the channel. It's Monday, October 23rd, about a week after St. Benitez delivered his famous, awesome uh, decision or ruling from his court, which is a federal district court in the Ninth Circuit, in the Southern District of the Ninth Circuit. Uh, we've been waiting for his decision. This was on the California assault weapons ban. He's already delivered one for California's large magazine capacity ban. And he ruled that his decision in ruling that was unconstitutional as well. The people who that's against, which is the attorney general and the governor, saw it coming, right? And they started whining early. But my concern is that every Second Amendment channel on the planet is cheering this thing as if it's a done deal. And it's not. It's creating expectations and it's hyping this stuff when it's not. So I'm doing this message just to let you all know that the California assault weapons ban has not been removed, has not been taken off the books, has not. It is still law in California. So just the California's assault weapons ban is still law in California. And so the large magazine ban. So you can't get large magazines, and you can't get an AR-15 really, there or any other what they declare as assault weapon. And it's going to be a while, if ever, and I'll explain that, if ever, that you can do that in the state of California. Why? California is the most powerful entity in the United States. California by itself would probably be the third or seventh largest country in the world, and the economy as well. You have a person running for president based on anti-gun, anti-Second Amendment stuff, right? And that's that stupid gelhead dude. What's his name? Forget. I forget his name, but you know what I'm talking about. There is a tremendous amount of pressure that is now about to be applied. So St. Benitez, Judge Benitez down there in the Southern District, in his court, God bless you, man, because hey, you have started the ball rolling. The question is, how far is the ball going to go, right? So here's what's going to happen next, which has already happened. The judge said, all that stuff is unconstitutional, but I know those fools up there, Newsom, Governor Newsom, and Bonta, the Attorney General. Newsom, we're going to run for president or run for some kind of cabinet position, depending on who gets presidency. Yeah, they're going to appeal. So, okay, I'm going to give them 10 days. The 10 days is almost up, by the way. So he's giving them 10 days so they can file an appeal, get their paper in a pile and file an appeal. And that appeal is going to go where? It's going to go to the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals. Now, the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals has already done some shenanigans with the large capacity magazine ban decision that St. Benitez has just done. They totally bypassed the three judge appellate panel and went straight to the same 11 judges on the en banc panel that overturned it and got it sent up to the Supreme Court in the first place. The Supreme Court didn't rule on it and sent it back after Bruin and said, you guys need to look at this again. So that is in the works, right? Those 11 people are, they're crazy. They're crazy. And they have to protect their reputation. Now, for the magazine ban. If the magazine ban, if those 11 judges rule that it's constitutional, in other words, they overturn St. Benitez, then the plaintiffs, that's those people that filed against the state, get to request, now you understand, hear me now, they get to request that the Supreme Court take the case and rule on it. That is as far as it'll go. Because the Supreme Court, one, doesn't even have to take the request. They can say, we're tired of that shit. Or they take it and review it before they give it certiorari or officially say they're going to take the case, right? And even if they do that and they hear the case, right? This is just for the magazine ban. Maybe 2 years from now, you know? So that's the process. And in 2 years, in 1 year, we're going to have a presidential election, won't we? So everything's trying to be slowed down so that the Democrats who are running on the anti-gun agenda don't get killed. Don't get killed in the polls by saying, sorry, you know, the people saying, hey, right? So there's that. Now, let's go back to the assault weapons ban. That course is going to be slightly different. It's going to get appealed. It already has. Now the Ninth Circuit is trying to figure out which 3 judges, because it will go to a 3-judge panel this time, which 3 judges it's going to go to, and they'll rule on whether or not they will further stay the St. Benitez decision. In other words, delay the implementation for another time period. They could do that. Or they could say, we agree with the judge and we're not going to stay his decision. In which case, there'll be a lot of cheering again. Okay, it will. But it won't mean jack. Because next step, the state of California is going to say, we don't like that decision. And we are requesting an en banc review of the 11 judges in the Ninth Circuit. We want you to review this. Now, in the Ninth Circuit, which is the largest circuit in the country, there are 25 judges. That's a lot of judges. Now, it used to be 1/3 of them were conservative. Today, it's 50%. And supposedly, the judges that are selected to sit en banc, that selection is random. Yeah, I got a bridge I want to sell you. I mean, there are folks sitting out there, this is what I believe, there are folks sitting out there in the state of California just hammering the shit out of the chief judge of the Ninth Circuit, saying you better figure out a way to put the majority in our favor. Our favor means the state's favor. To review the case, right? Because there's no public audit. Now, how did those judges get selected? That's behind the scenes stuff in the Ninth Circuit. So let's say there's two cases. One, the Ninth Circuit could deny en banc to the state, in which case the assault weapons ban is dead. I mean, it's done. Because the only thing the state could do then is go to the Supreme Court, and every other state every other anti-gun state outside of the Ninth Circuit, like New York, Maryland, and so forth, are going to be up his ass sideways saying, are you crazy? You lost your, we got ours, you lost yours. Don't go to the Supreme Court, because then it'll kill all assault weapons bans in the country forever, including federal. So Biden and those guys, we're going to do the assault weapons ban. Nah, you can't. It's already been ruled you can't do it, right? So, but I don't think Newsom, the governor of California, gives a shit on what happens on the national stage, right? I think he wants a win, and he just doesn't want to be seen as a loser. But that means that the 11th Circuit may not grant en banc. But let's say it does, right? I'm going to say if they do, then the fix is in. They're going to find 11 judges, and they're going to find enough of the 25 to make a group of 11 come up with a vote that overturns St. Benitez rule. In which case, the plaintiffs, that is those people that filed the case in the first place, are not going to just accept that. What are they going to do? They're going to request certiorari by the Supreme Court, the U.S. Supreme Court. Now keep in mind, the Supreme Court does not have to take a case. They don't have to. In a lot of cases, they don't take. They give priority to cases that affect the Bill of Rights or constitutional issues. That's a good thing. But they don't have to accept the case. And then if they do, then it's the following year. So we're talking about at least 2 years in the process for both of these. Now, I believe the fix is in, and I believe the fix is in for political reasons. Because one, there's a presidential election, there's a national election next year, almost a year from now, right? And for a lot of people, there's a lot at stake. All the anti-gun people, there's a lot at stake. The president, Biden, has created this national gun safety bullshit group that he's done, right? If he's not the president, guess what happens to that group? They're out of there, which is basically all of the anti-gun groups in the country having a seat at the table with the president, but the pro-Second Amendment people have no seat there, which I think is bullshit. I mean, if you're going to talk about national gun safety, you need to have all the constituents around the table. That's not what he wants. He wants gun confiscation from the American people. So let's take a look back inside the Ninth Circuit for a minute. Now, this has been a rabidly anti-Second Amendment court. Rabid. I mean, nothing. But after Bruin, where it says there can be no balancing of public interest against a constitutional right, there are judges inside the Ninth Circuit, the appellate court now, those 25 judges that are almost having fist fights with each other because of how violently they disagree. They disagree. You have one camp that says, we like it the way it was, and there ought to be interest balancing. And then you have the other judges said, what part of following the law don't you get? We are an inferior court. There is only one superior court, and that is the Supreme Court, who has said balancing can no longer be done. It doesn't matter what the fuck you think, how you feel. If you feel you can't do this, you need to resign. I mean, that is how intense the fight is right now inside the Ninth Circuit judges, the judges of the Ninth Circuit Appeals Court, and they're in the box. They're in the box. Come back to Judge Benitez. It was so perfect. It was so perfect a ruling. I mean, it was just perfect. His opinion was perfect, and I mean, he wrote it. He wrote it for whoever's going to do the opinion on the Supreme Court, if there was going to be an opinion. It was perfect. He struck every objection from every anti-gun argument ever. He just hit them all and killed them all. So that is what is waiting to go forward to the Ninth Circuit. And in my personal opinion, for the Ninth Circuit judges, en banc or otherwise, to reverse Judge Benitez based on the quality of his arguments, I mean, the fix is in. Then the question is, how quickly can it get to the Supreme Court? So that's where I sit, right? That's where I sit. The assault weapons ban has not been struck down. You still can't buy an assault weapon in California. Can't buy large magazines in California. Just saying. Right? The process has to complete, and when the fat lady sings, then the assault weapons ban will be struck down. So with that, for those of you that like coming to this channel and you like my content, don't forget to subscribe. If you have subscribed, check your subscription, because sometimes funny business happens in the tubiverse. Hit the bell icon, and as always, wherever you can, whenever you can, however you can, carry on.